Hi everyone, I'm Allison, founder of Pink Nannies. Today we're talking about something that can quietly make or break your entire career, your digital persona. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, Allison, I know how to write an email, just hear me out. Because this isn't about emails or text or voicemails. It's about how you show up before you ever walk through that door. Your digital presence is the first impressions that families, agencies, recruiters, they get you most of the time. It's happening long before you even realize it. Every message that you send, every way you sign your name, every moment that you respond, it's all communicating something about who you are. And whether you mean to or not, you're telling a story. So the question is, what story are you telling? We live in a world where most of our professional interactions happen behind a screen. They happen in emails, in texts, in DMs, even voice notes. And here's the truth that no one tells you. Your digital persona is the interview before the interview. When a family sees your name pop up in their inbox, they're already forming an impression. When you send a follow-up message, your tone, your timing, your professionalism, it's all giving them a preview of what it feels like to have you in their home. Because make no mistake, families aren't hiring experience, they're hiring energy. And we all know they want calm, they want reliability, they want someone who communicates with confidence, not chaos. And they can tell which one of you are, often from one message. Let's talk about what I call the energy of communication. Because words have tones, and tones have weight. And when you send an email that's clear, that's kind, and professional, what you're saying is, I'm grounded, I'm thoughtful, and I'm someone who brings order, not overwhelm. When your message is rushed, messy, emotionally charged, what you're communicating is actually the opposite. I'm overwhelmed, I'm disoriented, I'm not fully present. And I know you don't mean that, but perception is so powerful. In 2018, there was a study, and the study found that employers form judgments of a candidate's professionalism within the first 3 lines of an email. That's 3 lines. That's wild. And that's how quickly people decide who you are. So when you write, you're not just typing. You're setting the tone for how people see you. The email is your digital handshake. It's the first point of contact. The way that you extend your professionalism into somebody's day. It's how you extend your professional into someone's day. And it's how you do it well. Start with a professional email address. Your first and last name, not Baby Love 1994 or Nanny Life Queen. That's not a username. Use professional, use clear subject lines for the application, like Allison, follow-up interview availability. Begin your message with gratitude. Hi, Shelby, thank you so much for the opportunity to apply. Then get straight to the point. What job are you applying for? Why are you aligned? What is your availability? And then sign off with the full name, not just thanks or XXOO. This is a professional correspondence, not a group chat. Before you hit send, read it out loud. Would you hire that person who wrote that message? And if not, edit until the answer is yes. Now let's talk about texting, because this is where even great candidates can unintentionally sabotage themselves. Texts feel casual, but in this industry, it's never casual. Families read your tone as a preview of your composure. When you text things like, hey girl, sorry, I totally forgot, or LOL, traffic is crazy, you might think that you're being relatable, but what they see is unpredictability. And in a world where they're trusting you with their children, unpredictability, it equals stress. Here's how to fix it. Be clear. Hi, Allison, I'm running 5 minutes behind due to traffic. Thank you so much for your patience. Be concise, no long paragraphs, no rambling. Be composed. Never send multiple follow-up messages back to back. It reads anxiety, not enthusiasm. And most importantly, don't disappear. Silence is communication too, and it often says, I'm not dependable. Text like someone whose reputation depends on it, because in this field, it truly does. Let's talk about something that you probably haven't thought about in years. Your voicemail. Your voicemail still says, or if your voicemail still says, hey, it's me, you know what to do. Change that immediately. Your voicemail is a tiny 1-minute audition for professionalism. Families and agencies, they'll often call before scheduling interviews. And if they hear background noise, laughter, music, they will assume that you're not serious about the role. Instead, record something really simple like, hi, this is Allison. I'm not available to take your call, but please leave a message and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. That's it. Confidence, clarity, care in 15 seconds. Now let's talk about social media DMs, because they matter so much more than what you think. When you message an agency on Instagram or Facebook, remember, that is still a professional space. Avoid, hi, is this job still open? Or, check my page, I'm amazing. They might get the attention that you're after, but not the kind that you want. Instead, write, hi, I'm Jennifer. I saw a post about a nationwide family that lives in DC. I'm submitting my application and wanted to introduce myself. It's polished, direct, human, and remember, the person managing the social page isn't always the one doing the hire, so respect those boundaries and keep those DMs really brief and professional. And while we're here, clean up your social media. Families will check. They're not judging your personality, they're assessing your judgment. So would you trust someone with your children who posts complaints about their boss? Or private family matters? Or negativity online? Neither would they. Your social media is not just about what you post. It's about what it says about your mindset. I want you to remember this. Professionalism, it is not cold. It is care. It's how you show respect for other people's time, their attention, their energy. And when you write clearly, respond promptly and communicate kindly. Families feel really safe when you do that. And safety, it's the foundation of trust. The best nannies I've ever worked for, they weren't just incredible caregivers, they were incredible communicators. They know how to send a text, they calm a worried parent, and how to write an email that said, I'm steady, I got you, and you can rest now. That is the kind of communication that creates long-term relationships. Digital persona is helping. It's either helping you or it's hurting you. So ask yourself these questions. Does my email style reflect confidence or chaos? What are my messages? Are they clear? Do they sound rushed or do they sound emotionally charged? Do I respond promptly, professionally, and even when I'm tired or busy? If someone screenshot your last message, would I be proud or embarrassed? And does my online presence make people trust me or trust me less? If you hesitate on any of those questions, start small. Tighten your tone, slow your replies. Write like you respect yourself, because the energy will attract. Every email, every text, every call, they all say something bigger about how you operate in this world. A rushed message says you're reactive. A thoughtful one says you're intentional. A late reply, it says you're overwhelmed. And a timely one, it says that you're dependable. An over apology says you're uncertain. And a calm, clear response, it says you're confident. And that's what families are reading between the lines, not just your words, but your energy. In private service space, you are the structure families really depend on. So how you communicate is not the small details. It's the standard that brings trust into families' homes, and it builds that. Sometimes I hear nannies say, I don't want to sound too formal, but formality, it isn't stiffness, it's self-respect. Professionalism doesn't mean robotic. It means you know your worth. It can be warm and still sound very strong. So instead of, hey, just checking in about the job, say, hi, Pink Nannies. I wanted to follow up on my application for the full-time position in McLean, Virginia. I remain very interested and would love the opportunity to interview. Say, hi, I'm Shelby. I want to follow up on my application for the full-time position in DC. I would love the opportunity. Oh my gosh. Instead of, hey, just checking in about the job, say, hi, Maya. I wanted to follow up about my application for the full-time position in McLean, Virginia. I remain very interested and would love the opportunity to interview. Same message, different impact. Families notice tone. Polite and clear always wins. If you ever sent a message that you regret, you're not alone. We all have. The good news is digital impressions, they can be rebuilt. Start by refreshing your online profiles. Use a professional photo, not a selfie. Update your bio with clarity. No inside jokes or slang. And when you communicate, slow down. If something frustrates you, don't respond right away. Step back, write it out, walk away. Then come back and edit. I do this all the time because the difference between reaction and response is maturity. Here's the bigger picture here. When communication style is not about pleasing people, it's about leadership. Families don't just want someone who loves children. They want someone who can represent their home with excellence. Pink Nannies, we don't want someone who's just qualified. We want someone who's consistent. And the fastest way to show consistency is through communication. So when you respond clearly and when you stay composed, how you handle digital interactions with care, you're showing up for the world on how you handle life. That's what sets apart good nannies from unforgettable ones. Underneath all of this advice, something so simple is connection. We're human. We make mistakes. Sometimes we text too fast. Sometimes we forget to follow up. Sometimes we send an email at midnight that we regret in the morning. It happens. But the power is in awareness. When you start treating your digital presence as an extension of your professionalism, you start to feel a shift. You'll notice what people say to you. They reply faster, their interviews go smoother, people trust you quicker because clear communication, it builds calm, and calm builds confidence. Your digital persona isn't about being perfect. It's about being intentional. You are a brand, and whether you realize that or not, every message that you send is either building or breaking that brand. So write like someone's watching, because they are. Text like someone's paying attention, because they are. And speak your next opportunity like your life depends on it, because it might be. So write like someone's watching, because they are. Text like someone's paying attention, because they are. Speak like your next opportunity depends on it, because it might be. And you don't have to be the voice in every room. You just have to be clear, because clarity is leadership. And in this industry, leadership is everything. I'm Allison, and this is your reminder. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be professional. You need to show up with care, communication, and confidence. And let your presence, digital or real, speak for itself. Because when you respect your own voice, the world listens differently.